Hey everyone, welcome. My son is still sick, so I'm kind of the best place for me to go is my daughter's bedroom. So I wanted to talk about how our internal world creates our external world. And really, what that really means is that our thoughts, our beliefs, our mindset, the way we think, all develops into what manifests around us. Really, it's kind of the basic concept of like how we live our life. All of the things that, so much of it is subconscious, right? Like we aren't aware of it, and you can start to create some awareness by doing some work around it, by whether it's journaling or going to a counselor or going to some programs, Landmark or whatever it might be, to help you dive into those things. And there's all kinds of tons of programs out there that help you dive into things that help you to understand, oh my God, this is what I've always thought about this. Like we oftentimes aren't aware of our belief systems and how they manifest into things in our life. And that's really what happens. So when you think about, if you're a business owner or if you're, a stay-at-home mom or a work-at-home mom or whatever it is, that how you view the world, what your perspective is, what your perception is, all the things that create your ideas about how the world is and how it works is the reality that gets created for you around you. And I mean, it's just so simple. It's so simple, but it's also not necessarily like if every single person on the planet realized and lived and understood that, oh my gosh, this is just a belief, this is just a thought, this is just an idea that's in my head or in my, in my brain, in my mind. All I need to do is change it and my outer world changes. If the whole world really understood that, we'd live on a different planet, basically. Like our lives would be massively different. And so people, you might think, oh yeah, well, of course, but very few people live it. Like very few people really get it that, oh my gosh, I'm going to do work around this so that my external world can look a lot different. It was totally possible for your external world to look different, and you start and you continue to change your internal world, your internal thoughts and beliefs about, I'm not good enough, things are hard. Hi, Linda. Hi, Teresa. Yeah, like I'm not good enough is such a common one that permeates every cell of our being, right? Or I'm a bad person. Like that was one for me, for sure. And I have pieces of it here and there that show up, even though I've done a ton of work on that one. I'm not worthy. Life is hard. Like all these things that, again, they permeate our subconscious, and then they show up in our tone, our attitude, our, the way we express ourselves. They show up in all those little tiny ways. And then that's what ends up manifesting, because people respond to us based on the undercurrent and the tone. Excuse me. The tone and the undercurrent that we have. People respond to us that way. The universe responds to us that way. All of life responds to us based on that tone and undercurrent that we carry with us everywhere. And it's so interesting because I can almost, one thing I do a lot of is like I look at somebody's, just somebody I don't know, walking down the street or walking into the store or whatever, and I'm like, wow, they've had a hard life. Like you can see people who are bent over or their face is really wrinkled, and like, wow, they worry a lot, or things have been hard for them. Like we respond to people based on how they hold themselves, their tone of voice, their facial expressions, and the universe, the universal energy, atoms respond to us based on that as well. So again, if everyone in the world knew this, and it's funny because I would say, yes, I get it. But until I went into my business, this digital marketing business that I'm doing, that really gets that 80% of our business is internal work. And then we use community to support ourselves and to encourage us and to help us along the way. That's when I really started taking it seriously, because I couldn't figure out how I do this on my own. I really couldn't figure that out. How do I structure my day? How do I structure my interactions? How do I structure, transactions with people, and how I interact with money, and how I interact with challenges? Like, I couldn't figure that out on my own. I mean, and I could figure it out in terms of getting through life and being a good person and supporting myself, but I couldn't figure it out from the standpoint of elevating myself into something else and elevating my life into something that I wanted, until I found a community and a business that was organized around that. And, I've been to churches and meditation practices that supported this belief and understanding that how our inner world creates our outer world. But it also was like this separate piece of my life. The church was like, here's my church life, here's my meditation life. And now, for the first time, I have found a community and a daily life that allows me to structure myself around this philosophy. Hey, Maya, so nice to see you here. And I encourage you to find community and people who can support you in that, in really helping you to work on your inner world, your inner thoughts and beliefs and ideas and attitudes, and the undercurrent. Like, that's what I always think about, is what's the undercurrent that is underneath all of it. And we tend to have these moments when we get to it. But what I've learned in practice is I see that undercurrent now. Like, I'm, whether it's I'm not good enough or I'm a bad person. And I can look at that, how I use that in everything I do, and how to up the ante, up myself, and not use that anymore. And get rid of limiting beliefs around that. And there's all kinds of ways you can do that, to release those limiting beliefs and move into something greater for yourself. So I just want you to know that it is possible, and that massive transformation can happen. I highly encourage this to happen in community and in your daily life, not these pockets of, a weekend retreat here, and I'm all for retreats, but not just these little moments that you do them, but daily life. That's when you see massive, massive change. So our internal world creates our external world is a huge, huge topic. And I encourage you to work on that on a daily basis. So let me know your thoughts. Like, what are some things that you've seen in your internal world that have created something in your external world? I've seen tons of things. And give me an example of something like, oh yeah, this is because I think this way, this is what happened in my life, or is happening, or has happened in my life. It doesn't have to be now. It could be a while ago too. So, because I've seen a ton of things, I'll write something in there as well. It's always nice to get comments. Thank you so much for coming here today, and I appreciate you. And I look forward to more of this. So I hope you have a beautiful, amazing day. Bye.